Welcome back, everyone. If you're new, please subscribe, please follow, please like, please share my videos. If you've been with me for a while, welcome back as well. Today I'm going to talk about how trauma can affect your gifts. All right, so let's first define what trauma is, okay? Now, trauma is generally a life-threatening event that can cause a lot of emotional or physical damage, okay? Now, some examples of that would be war, okay, being in war, a natural disaster that takes place, sexual or physical assault, witnessing death or severe injury of somebody, death of a loved one, okay, almost getting killed yourself, a serious illness such as cancer, an auto accident that you get into. It could be anything. It could be any number of things that's very scary, very damaging physically or mentally, okay? Something that puts your body in flight or fight mode, okay? So they actually say that trauma can affect your brain. It can change your brain permanently, okay? The way that you are before the trauma is not the way that you'll be after the trauma, okay? And even if you heal that trauma, you will never be the same person you were before the trauma, okay? There's going to be some differences. So what does trauma do? Trauma affects how you process information. It can affect your ability to recall things, to remember things, okay? You have difficulty in remembering things. It can also affect your ability to focus. Now, it can also affect your energy field and create blockages in the body. Now, these blockages can put your chakras out of whack. You can store the trauma usually in the torso area, so your stomach, your lower back, your chest, your upper back, shoulders, that sort of thing, okay? So it gets trapped in the body, but it also affects your brain in a negative way. And it can also create blocks in your psychic abilities, believe it or not. Okay, so that's what I mean by it can affect your spiritual gifts. So if you are a reader, if you're a tarot reader, oracle reader, it can actually affect or hinder your ability to properly, channel and get the information through your intuition. Okay, it creates blocks so that you have blocks when you're trying to connect to your intuition and you won't get the messages as clearly. You might struggle at times with getting messages at all, okay? And actually, if you don't deal with the trauma that's stored in your body, it can manifest into physical problems later on. You can end up, starting with some basic things like headaches or body aches and that sort of thing. But if it's not dealt with, if you don't deal with those emotions, you kind of stuff them away and you don't ever bring them up again, then it can manifest in things like a heart attack or cancer or any sort of serious ailment, okay? Now, the good news is that if you are having these problems, if you've been through trauma and you're struggling with your gifts because you've been through a traumatic experience, now it won't last forever. It might feel that way. It might last months or years where you struggle, you have blockages with your gifts that weren't there before the trauma, okay? Maybe you were a really good tarot reader and then you went through trauma and you're not as good anymore, okay? Because you have all these blocks now. So that can improve, okay, over time, but you're going to have to heal yourself. You're going to have to heal that trauma. You're going to have to release that trauma out of your body. It might be important for you to get some trauma counseling or get general counseling or therapy, okay, to deal with the trauma. So until you deal with that trauma, you're going to struggle over and over with your gifts, okay? You might have all kinds of blockages, and until you release that trauma and you start healing, okay, is when your gifts will slowly start to come back, okay? You'll connect better, and again, it might never be quite like it used to be, okay, before the trauma, but you will find that a lot of your gifts will come back. And actually, because of time passing, and you growing spiritually as well, you might find that you have new gifts that come up, or your gifts evolve, okay? So you might not read the same way you did 3 years ago because you spiritually grew in that time as well. So what are some other ways that you can release trauma, that you can heal the trauma that you've been through? Well, you can do, like I said, trauma counseling or therapy. Okay, those are two really good ones. A group counseling would be good, group trauma counseling, and then individual counseling. Another one is exercise. You want to exercise to move that energy around, to release some of that trauma out of the body that's stored in the body. Meditation is another one to deal with the emotional aspect, to be in the present moment and get out of your head about what you went through. Okay, be more focused in the present moment. It'll help your focus. Breath work is a good one to release the stored trauma out of the body as well. Something called EFT